Welcome to VSB News Online for Wednesday, December 10th. I'm Peter Kitzel. The feared escalation of gun violence in the community following Sunday's murder of gang leader Prince Barrington Edness in Southampton has apparently come to pass. VSB News' Brian Darby has the details.
There were two incidents involving the shooting of firearms in the Southampton and Warwick areas, but fortunately no one was injured. The police, who continue to search for the second man involved in the Sunday murder, were sent to Scenic Heights at 11:15 p.m. after two suspects riding separate motorcycles rode through the area, and one of them discharged a firearm before both left in opposite directions. And at 12:30 this morning, another motorcyclist drove along Camp Hill and discharged a firearm before making good his escape. Anyone with information is asked to call 295-0011 or Crime Stoppers at 800-8477. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
After hearing fellow senators expressing their pleasure about the America's Cup decision at the close of today's meeting of the Upper House, Junior Minister of National Safety, Senator Jeff Barron, had to admit that while he shared the excitement, the shooting at a police officer on Sunday night had completely numbed him.
I did. I share that. I share that America's Cup is an amazing thing for Bermuda, and I will celebrate that with everyone. And I think as a Junior Minister of National Security, it's also my job, as a chairperson of the Interagency Gang Task Force, it's also my job to talk about things that aren't as popular, but frankly on everyone's mind. And the recent shootings, of course, have taken a hold of not only the ministry but the community as well, and we've rebalanced our focus on just exactly what is going on in the community. And it's hard not to speak with a level of emotion about the subject. You know, this I speak to Bermuda about this problem. I mean, I speak to your viewers and everyone listening today that we need your help, because we're stronger than this. We can get through this. We can win. We are stronger as a community than any root cause of gang violence. We are stronger as a community together than any gang. And I'm asking for Bermuda as a whole to step up. And when I say Bermuda, I don't mean pockets of Bermuda. I mean everyone. I mean every single person walking, working, and living, sleeping, and eating in Bermuda today. They need to realize that everyone here has skin in this game. Everyone. And until such time, we are going to, scratch our heads and say, my goodness, what are the cops doing about this? Or what's the government doing about this? It's a community issue. We've said it and we've heard it from many different sectors, but we need to repeat that. It's too important to get wrong, and I refuse to lose on this. I will continue to work as much as I can, and frankly, have those tough conversations, and maybe awaken certain pockets of our community to say, you have skin in this game too. Get involved. It's too important to get wrong.
Since PRC holders are permitted to purchase their own homes and condos within a certain land tax category, the PLP's claim that some status seekers have engaged in the practice of fronting makes absolutely no sense, according to Home Affairs Minister Michael Fay, and is just another example of how the opposition seeks to stir things up for political advantage.
Time and time again over the last 3 months, I've heard all kinds of things about work permit holders and this company's doing the wrong thing. And you know what? No one that has made these public pronouncements has made an official complaint to the Department of Immigration. So I start to wonder whether what they're saying is in fact genuine or not. I've got to listen, I will listen, but come with facts and we can do something about it.
But your bottom line was, in fact, that a PRC can own property.
A PRC can own property now, and let's not be confused that the ownership of property does not mean you get status in any way, because there seemed to be some confusion in what was being said in the Senate chamber by my friend in the opposition. I will say this, because I don't want anyone to say, oh, the minister believes in fronting. Absolutely not. But my position is this: if someone is convicted of an offense, then I have a duty under the Immigration and Protection Act to do an analysis as to whether this person is a fit and proper person or has the moral turpitude or not to be a status holder. But I have to see evidence. I can't just make blanket statements without evidence. It would be absurd to do so.
We do have a law on fronting, don't we?
We absolutely do, and it's very clear what that law is. Again, it's like the Crime Stopper saying, if you know something, say something. That is going to help, not just rumors and innuendo. That's not helpful, and is the thing that will stir up anti-status sentiment and be the very thing that people start to latch onto when there's no absolute proof. If there's proof, show us and we can do something about it.
But in defense of the claims of Shadow Immigration Minister Walton Brown, Opposition Senate Leader Diallo Rabane says there is no harm in asking. In fact, it is his party's duty.
We would be remiss if we did not know that fronting took place. We know it takes place, it's very difficult to prove and the like. And the questions that I drew out of the statement was quite simple. If someone is the application process required for someone to describe how they've acquired their property? Seemed like a simple question to me, yes or no. If someone is found to have been fronting, would that lead to their status, if they were granted status and found to have been fronting, would that lead to status being revoked or status not issued? Seemed like a simple question, but instead we got into all other sorts of conversations about the minister adamant that the Progressive Labor Party is trying to mislead the public or create some sort of storm where there isn't a storm. And the thing is, with this government, that's what we constantly are hearing from them. When it came to Jetgate, you're trying to create something that's not there. When it came to the airport, you're trying to create something that's not there. But as the time goes on and other things get released, we're seeing a pattern here. They're saying you're trying to create something that's not there, and then all of a sudden, there's something there. So why not ask the questions up front, and why not just answer them? Again, the more they refuse to answer, the more mistrust it breeds.
The island's top 5 insurance companies have agreed to offer a 10% discount on motorcar, cycle, and home insurance premiums to the membership of all of the unions involved in the Trade Union Council for 2 years, starting January 1st, 2015. This was the positive news that Senator Michael Fay, chairman of the Tripartite Council, brought to the Senate today. It will exist whether or not the Civil Service Union agrees next year to extend acceptance of a 4.7% pay cut for another year.
We have worked with a number of organizations over the course of the year to try and alleviate some of that pain that people are feeling as a result of having to take a furlough day. We negotiated, as we know, with the grocery stores to give everyone in Bermuda 10% discount Wednesdays with Marketplace, Supermart, and Lindo's. We've been incredibly grateful for them for taking part in that initiative, which was voluntary. So we've been very pleased with that. As we know, Belco introduced a graduated facilities charge. So higher-end users pay more, lower-end users pay less. And what we've now also managed to negotiate with the top 5 major local insurers, that's Argus, BF&M, Colonial, Friesenbrook and Meyer, and Kitson, to have them agree to do a 10% discount on insurance premiums for all BTUC members in relation to property and motor, that's bike and car, for 2 years. So we've been absolutely thrilled with them that they've come to the table with us and agreed to do something like this for the community. The insurance companies already have done a lot in respect of, say, Hurricanes Faye and Gonzalo, in relation to a couple of the insurers waived, for example, the deductible on second claims. Others have already put in place different things for government workers. But the fact that all of them now will say, look, for this 2-year period, we will give a 10% discount on premium. Upon presentation of relevant documents, we need to sort that out with our friends in the BTUC as to what documents will be sufficient to get that discount. And that will be available from the 1st of January for 2 years. So it's a wonderful gesture by those insurance companies.
How about the furlough itself? Will that be extended?
Well, that's something that has to be continuously negotiated between the Bermuda government and the Bermuda Trade Union Congress. So that's for negotiation. I believe it's till the end of March.
Residents of constituency 33, Sand South, are being given an opportunity to air their views on gaming tomorrow. That's when PLP member Jamal Simmons holds a town hall meeting on the subject at the Summers Isle Lodge Hall. Gaming is on Friday's agenda for a vote in the House of Assembly, and VSB's Charles Webb asked Mr. Simmons what he hopes will come out of the meeting.
I think that what it's primarily for is for the people of constituency 33 to have a voice and express to me how they feel about the issue of gaming in Bermuda. But all are welcome, and it is welcome to everyone if they wish to attend. But the main focus, as I mentioned, is for my constituents to have a voice, express themselves, and give me some idea of how they would like me to vote in Parliament on Friday. And we are doing a free vote. It's not going to be under the party whip on our side.
But do you know, like, from your gut feeling where the party stands on the gaming?
Well, our leader has basically, from the beginning, said that this is a matter for each individual to vote on, not just as a conscience matter, but also knowing your area, knowing the people that you represent. So from the beginning, that has been the approach. I think what we're going to be doing, we're going to be focusing primarily on the bill itself. Due to the race nature of the way the government has done this, remember, they promised an education campaign, they promised all of that.
And that didn't happen, did it?
And it didn't happen.
And we'll return with more news right after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
The next two honorees in our presentation of the national sportsmen and women who were accepted into the Bermuda Sporting Hall of Fame last weekend are soccer star Sam Newsom and athlete Dr. David Saul. Here are the highlights of their unveilings at the Fairmont, Southampton.
I'd like to some important people to thank. First, my father, who was probably the only coach I've ever had. And I think the reason I say that is because I have to hear about people saying that they message my son. He's the best, he's that. And when I played for Warwick, this is where I started, my club. Whenever I went to Warwick Club, it was like, you know, you're the best, this, I'll buy you a drink, I'll do that. I was only a teenager at the time. Then I had to go home, and my pop said, hey, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you did the other thing wrong. So that's, I've never had a coach other than that, wherever I played in England or in the US or Canada. So these coaches said, you know, it's newfangled, get as far as I'm concerned. And I'd just like to say a lot of thanks to all the people in my travels, which with Warwick, I have to start with that because they were, you know, my neighborhood club. My father was a starting member there, and you know, the Tuckers, Lee Tucker, and all of the Audrey, Warwick, Club Seal, social people were a big part of that time.
This is indeed an honor. When someone made the mistake and didn't do it alphabetically, I thought my mates on the committee had finally come to their senses and withdrawn my name. However, ladies and gentlemen, Premier, I'm probably getting the award because I represent the dark ages of athletics. In the 50s, when my heyday, we didn't have fancy running shoes, fancy tracks. Indeed, only a handful of people ran all year round. And when I used to run in the 50s, it was a daily occurrence, really. People would shout out, David, David, you fool, St. Brendan's is that way. When I won my first 3-mile national championships, I was 17. I was looking for competition. The competition took place on the BAA field. Sorry, George. It was 220 yards marked out. It was 3 miles. How would you math? 24 times around the track you ran. It was hell to play on the judges because I lapped everyone twice.
The unheralded increase by $40 million in government's guaranteed underwriting of the Morgan's Point project has upset the opposition in Parliament. And in the Senate this morning, Senator Diallo-Rabane cried foul.
In August last year, the guarantee was $125 million, but in a statement made in the House on Friday, the guarantee had gone up to $65 million, which is an extra $40 million. Now, when asked, how do we justify that, it was unclear whether it even went through cabinet or it even had cabinet approval, that it was just done. And one of the reasons given was that because the Ritz-Carlton had signed on. Now, that's a positive movement, in my opinion, that Ritz-Carlton, which is a known brand, has signed on for Morgan's Point. But however, when we're talking about guaranteeing the public purse, the public should be at every right to ask why, or why was it done, and to get answers back like because we said it or because we did it, it doesn't really sit right with me. I mean, the public should be able to ask what's going on with public funds and receive concrete answers that they can walk away with. And the America's Cup is a great thing that's going to happen. And I have no doubt that it will bring an economic boost to the island. But obviously, the calculations were done based on some information. And when asked, could that information be supplied so we can all see what the government was looking at when they made whatever bid they made, it was told, no, not really. We're not going to release that at this time. Again, and I think I've said this to you on several occasions, the more secretive, the more mistrust.
And in sports news, Aaron Evans talks about sports psychology. The Goodwill Golf Tournament reaches the halfway stage, and squash star Micah Franklin bows out of the London Open. We turn to Earl Baisden with the details.
During an interview on VSB Sports Talk, hosted Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 2 p.m. on VSB 1450 AM Gold, Commonwealth Games 800-meter semifinalist Aaron Evans discussed how a sports psychologist helped him with his running during his college years.
Well, for me, honestly, that just kind of came naturally. I've always ran from behind,
Right.
And so that's just been my signature, is just to kick in the end and make up a bunch of ground. But the psychology aspect of it, that's definitely important, like you said, because I know I ran my fastest in college, and how to say this, like I wasn't trying to run my fastest. I didn't even know I had that in me.
Right.
And all these things happened to me so fast. Like I wasn't expecting to break the national record 3-4 times, however many times, and become a professional runner and move out to Oregon. And all of these things kind of happened so fast. And since then, I feel like I've been in the best shape of my life, but I haven't seen those performances that I've seen in college. And so I don't think it's a psychology issue, I would say, but sometimes it's hard to get what you want from your body. Like we put our body under so much stress as professional athletes, and we ask so much from it. And sometimes it just doesn't answer us. Right. And I mean, you see that case if Derrick Rose for the Bulls has been out for the past 3 years with injuries. So he's a great.
Right. Dej Miners led the Franklin Pierce men's track and field team during the Brown University at an invitational track meet. Miners and his teammates took the opportunity to make a statement in their opening meet. Miners would first lead the pack and take first place, finishing the men's mile in a time of 4:26:53. Miners would again show his stuff with yet another first place finish, this time in the men's 4x400 meter relay, where he led his team to recording a time of 3:28:47. The 2014 Bermuda Goodwill Golf Tournament continued around the island with some 62 teams participating from Bermuda, USA, Canada, and Europe. In the junior team net competition, Hidden Valley Golf Club have taken a 2-shot lead over Riverside Golf Club B. Hidden Valley followed up their 57 in the first round with a 55 yesterday. Riverside shot a 63 at Mid-Ocean Club and is followed by local team Port Royal, who shot a 58 and 57 over the 2 days. Riverside Club B lead the Gross in the juniors division with rounds of 56 and 67. The Lakes Golf Club is 6 shots back after rounds of 64 and 65. 1 shot back in third place is Breakers West Reese Jones with a score of 66 and 64. In the ladies division, net a 2-way tie for the lead after 2 rounds sees High Five Golf and the local Riddles Bay team with 16 under. Lambton Golf Club F team are in third place, 1 shot back. In the Gross division for the ladies, West End Golf Club are the leaders with a 2-day total of 6 under par. They hold a 7-shot lead at the halfway mark over Georgiana Bay Club. The Country Club of New Bedford are 2 over par alongside St. George's Golf Club. Nicky Wells and his Huddersfield Town teammates will host championship rivals Reading in the 3rd round of the English FA Challenge Cup. The tie, which will take place on January the 4th, was the 13th of the 32 pairings made at the Deep Aquarium in Hull City. Town will be aiming to make the 4th round for the 3rd season running and the 4th time in 5 years. Micah Franklin continued taking part in the Charing Cross London Open squash event. Franklin played an experienced English player, Ben Ford, in his 2nd round match and lost 3-0 in 40 minutes. Franklin went down 11-8, 11-9, 11-9. Johan Smith recently competed in the Mini Olympics motocross professional racing event in Florida, which was part of the 2014 Florida Girl Cup Series. 41 competitors took to the track to compete in the 250C class. Smith won the first moto before finishing 5th in the 2nd. Smith also competed in the 250C Limited Moto, where he won the first moto and finished 5th in the 2nd. The Bermuda Volleyball Association's Winter League season continued again at 2 locations, the Cedar Bridge Academy Gymnasium and the Warwick Academy Gymnasium. At the Warwick Academy Gymnasium on Net A, Hit Me With Your Best Shot defeated the Digs 25-21. Hot Shots on a Platter defeated the Digs 25-23. On Net B, Hit Me With Your Best Shot defeated the Alphas 25-23, and then the Alphas defeated the Chengos 25-22. Hot Sets on a Platter defeated the Chengos 25-16. At the Cedar Bridge location on Net C, See You Next Tuesday defeated the Bogle Fight 18-15. Take a Hit defeated Smash 20-18, and Smash then defeated the Russian Revolution 18-16. I'm Earl Baston reporting for VSB Sports.
Thanks for watching VSB News Online for Wednesday, December 10th. I'm Peter Kittel.